Tip number 141 from the book 501 Contractor Tips. I am the author, Greg Vandenberg, trying to share some of my knowledge about problems I had in the business and, of course, ways to make a little more money. So what we're interested in is really having a higher quality of life, which usually requires making more money. Tip number 141, this is a biggie, and it's one that some contractors just do not get. They can't wrap their minds around this thing. Show me the numbers. The numbers never lie. This isn't highly speculative. This is exact, right on reality. If you add 5 to the number 10, you're going to get 15. There's not a lot of speculation in here. This is more of an absolute. This is an absolute truth here. And, let's face it. You have 5 rocks and 10 rocks. You can count them. You're going to have 15 rocks. This is reality here. It's not, like I said, speculative. Things like religion, religious views, that's speculative. There's a lot of stuff involved in religion that can be really speculative. And if you really don't get a grasp on that, if you're a particular religious follower, find another religious follower who is kind of on your level of the same beliefs in another religion, and you'll have a difficult time trying to hammer one fact down. You just, hey, wait a minute, does God exist? In my religion he does. Well, so does the same with mine. Well, now you're getting into speculative information. Theories. This is different. The numbers aren't going to lie. If you bid a job for $100,000 and you make $10,000, this is reality here. You've made 10%. You have $10,000 that you made in profit off of this job. If you lose $10,000, this is a reality. You're going to have $10,000 less dollars in your bank account. This is a reality here. So the numbers aren't ever going to lie. And this is where the numbers, of course, are always going to be your friend. You take this information and you use it somewhere else. Take your numbers from your estimates. If you bid a job for $100,000 and you lose $10,000, you will apply this information to your next job to make sure that you don't lose any more money. This same theory, or the same fact that I should say, the numbers don't ever lie, can also be used in other parts of your life. Money management. If you are spending $100 a week in groceries and you don't have enough food, and you have to spend $150, but you want to spend $100, this isn't going to work too good. So, it's not just the construction business. And when I say that, it's the reason why I kind of stated that was because there are other things. If your electric bill comes and it's $170 one month, and the next month it's $200, and the next month after that it's $200, and then you average the amount out for the entire year, and you realize that it costs you $190 on average for your electricity. This is a reality here. I'm not saying that every month it's going to cost you $190. It's not going to cost you $170 every month. It's not going to cost you $220 every month. This is something that you can use to manage your money. Groceries, electricity, it doesn't matter. And this is all stuff. It's relative to your business, because your business is usually where this money comes from. So if you're not making enough money, you're going to be able to look at your bank account and see where the problems are. You're going to be able to see where the benefits are. If you do one job and it's you bid it for $100,000 and it was a tile job and you make $20,000 on it, 20% profit. And then you do another job and you're averaging these numbers out, and you're averaging anywhere between 15 and 20% as a tile layer, tile installer. But when it comes to remodeling kitchens, your profit margin goes up to 50%. This should tell you what business you need to go in. You know, when I say these numbers never lie, it's going to apply to practically every tip. I don't want to say every tip, but practically every tip in this book, because it's solid. This is the truth. It's the absolute truth. You know, this isn't vague here. You know, if you're a contractor, and I've met plenty of contractors like this, you know, they make $10,000 on a job, and then they go buy a new car, and then they don't have enough money to start their next job. This isn't hard to figure out. Like I said, this is reality here. You know, if you make $10,000, but you owe 20% in taxes, then you can't spend more than $8,000. This is reality here. This isn't speculative. I'm not throwing out a bunch of stuff that we need to guess at. So remember, the numbers that never lie. This can apply to other parts of your life that will help you as a contractor as well. It's like I said, I mentioned the groceries and the electricity, but this goes on and on. You know, if you have one kid and you're barely scraping by, there's a good chance that you shouldn't have two kids. This is just kind of a tough, it's not that hard to figure out. And obviously, if we waited around until we had enough money to have children, nobody would ever have any money because we can't afford to have kids. But that's kind of it's just an example of something that you can use in other areas. I mean, this really does. It applies to anything. You buy a truck and your car payment's $200 a month, and you didn't check this out before you bought the truck. You didn't figure out whether or not you could afford to buy a truck. And then you buy the truck and you got a $200 a month payment on it, and you're already $200 in the hole every month. You've got a problem. This is back to where I say the numbers never lie. You can evaluate almost anything that relates to numbers and figure out whether your decision is going to be a good one or a bad one or something in between. But if you don't do the math and you don't take the time to look at the numbers and examine the numbers before you make a decision that's going to be related to numbers, an estimate for a project or even the purchase of a vehicle, then you're not really going to be making the best or the most well-informed decision that you should or you need to. So like I said, the numbers aren't ever going to lie. They're not highly speculative. It's right there. You can do the math yourself and figure out whether or not you're creating a problem for yourself in a variety of different areas in your life, including the construction business.